I lived in Singapore for a long time, and I was always fascinated by these tower blocks that would shoot up within what it seemed to be 6 months. And you think, oh, that was fast. But you never saw what there was the year before, right? And they literally spent 18 months building the foundations. It was just a hole, and sometimes it was underground. You never saw it. AIOps, I feel, was exactly the same. Everyone wants the glossy tower that everyone can see, but no one wants to fund a year underground. So let me tell you what happens when a company decides they want to do AIOps. In my experience, someone senior reads the same 3 articles that everyone else reads. They see a demo where an agent miraculously investigates an incident on its own, finds the root cause in seconds. It's like magic, drafts the fix, and they come back and they say, right, I want that. And I want it by the end of the year. And I want the machine doing this, and I want the machine doing that. The ambition is not wrong. You all know my feelings about shooting for the moon, and the future is real, and it's mostly already here. But then they try to build a tower without the foundation, and it fails. And then they blame AI or they blame the project because it doesn't give them what they really want. So now here's the thing the demo does not show you. The agent, the one that looks so clever, that's only looked clever because it was running on top of a beautiful instrumented system. Every service emitting this clean, beautiful structured telemetry. It's all purpose built. Every request is carrying a trace all the way through. It's beautiful. It's a thing of magic. It's like an orchestra for observability practitioners. Every resource is tagged so you know exactly where it is. Everything is correlated, everything is implemented, and everything looks beautiful. The agent was standing on the foundation that somebody spent years formalizing in their mind. And the demo very carefully does not mention how many years it spent underground. Because AIOps is not Harry Potter. It doesn't do magic. It reads your telemetry and it reasons over it. That's the whole trick. And that means it's only ever as good as the telemetry underneath it. If your data is a mess, and I promise you, most estates, everything's in a mess. Right? If we've got too much telemetry, too much data, then the smartest agent in the fucking world is reasoning over rubbish. And it's confidently wrong at speed. Garbage in, garbage out. You've heard me say this on the channel so many times, except now the garbage comes out machine generated that sounds authoritative. So let me be blunt about what the foundation actually is, because it's not exciting, and that is exactly why it gets skipped. It's 3 unglamorous things. It's your telemetry. Are your services actually emitting metrics, logs, and traces that mean something consistently across your whole estate? Not just 2 services that someone implemented properly and then they done the off, or got the telemetry that the 5 services that the demo is using. All of it, all of your estate, all of your platinum, critical paths, critical journeys. It is tags and metadata. When the agent finds a hot resource, it can tell you what that resource is, which service it belongs to, and which team owns it, whether it's production or test. Without that, your agent finds a problem and can't tell you what the problem is. And of course, it's traceability. When the agent says this deploy caused the incident, you can actually follow the thread from the change to the effect. Or is that connection something a human still has to do? Or is that a connection something a human still has to reconstruct by hand from the bloody timestamps? None of that is AI. All of it is the boring groundwork of observability we have been talking about for over a decade, and even more so. And here is the people that don't want to listen, that don't want to believe. If you've not done that groundwork, AIOps does not fix it for you. It exposes it. The moment you put an agent on top of a weak foundation, every gap you've been living with becomes the agent's gap too. It doesn't fix it for you, except now it's moving the speed of light and is now speaking with so much authoritative confidence that people are not even thinking it's not true. I've watched teams lately spend a fortune on the tower and nothing on the foundation, and then they act surprised and start pointing fingers when things don't stand up. And the maddening part of that is that the year underground was never wasted, even if AI never arrives. Good telemetry, clean tags, real traceability, those things make humans faster today. They make every incident shorter, with or without the agent. The foundation pays for itself long before the tower goes up. It's just that nobody gets a cut of the ribbon celebration for a foundation. It's not glamorous. It really isn't glamorous. It's hard work. It's noise. It's fixing stuff. It's getting the standards in place. It's making people understand what you're trying to do and not getting woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning for some shit. Right? This is the frustration. So if you're being asked to deliver AIOps and they're telling you do it by the end of the year, the most valuable thing you can do is to have an honest conversation about what is actually underground. Not to say no, to say, here is the year they're not showing you in the demo. And here is where we actually are in that process. So here's the infamous hard stop for this episode. No foundation, no AIOps. Garbage in, garbage out. End of story. End of story. No foundation, no AIOps. Garbage in, garbage out. That's the end of the story. So here's one thing I want you to do this week. Before your next AIOps project conversation, run one honest test. Pick a single incident from last month, one that's already closed, that you already understand, and ask yourself, could an agent have explained this using only the telemetry we have that we actually admit right now? Could it have seen the change that caused it? Could it have known which team owned the thing that broke? Could it have followed the same thread, the same cause and effect, without a human filling gaps from memory? Be honest, guys, about this answer. Be really honest about this answer, because it will drag you down if you do not. Because that one incident is the core sample of your foundation. If an agent could not have explained an incident you already understand, it's not going to fucking explain one you do not. And now you know exactly what you need to build before you buy any other subscriptions or anything else. Don't be glossed by the flashing lights of AI. Right. That's the idea and that's the habit. So now for the good part we all look forward to. It's signal check time. Few questions, the real ones that have come through social media or people ping me on Reddit. So just my answers as we see them. So let's have them. Question 1 this week comes from the observability thread on Reddit, asking me personally, are you running the full observability pipeline in your current engagement? Or did they start piecemeal? And where do you think similar teams actually begin? Okay, well, everyone starts piecemeal. I think, if you have a leader with vision that enables you to have the time to craft and decide. But I think almost everyone starts piecemeal, and it's fine. Do not let anyone shame you into thinking you need all the pillars from day one, right? Especially now all 4 pillars. But there is the right order to fill it in. So start with the telemetry that shortens your actual incidents. For most teams, that is logs and traces. Your 2 or 3 most critical user journeys. Not everything everywhere, please. Not everything everywhere. You don't need everything everywhere. Get those journeys generally good. They can't be perfect. They never will be, but get them tagged, get them owned before you go wide. Right? A small team wins by having really deep, trustworthy foundation, like we just talked about. The handful of things that matter, not a shallow, patchy one under everything. Depth is where it counts, guys. Beats breadth and width, right? That you can't trust. Start narrow and real, not wide and hollow. Question 2 from a good SRE friend of mine. How do you actually measure SLOs for Gen AI and genetic systems? And does SRE need its own IMAC moment for this? Okay, there's 2 halves for that. Great question. On the SLOs, treat an agent like any other thing that makes decisions, and measure what you would have measured if a junior engineer was doing the same job. So not just is it up, but is it right? How often does a human have to overrule it? How long does it take? Correctness, intervention rates are your real SLOs for an agent, right? And I'm still grasping with this myself, and almost no one's measuring them yet. So on the IAC moment, yes, that's exactly the right instinct. The same way infrastructure as code turns server wrangling into something visionable and renewable. We need agent behavior, right? So the prompts, the tools, the guardrails to become something you version and review, not something that lives in a person's head, right? Because your Gen AI agents are blowing people's minds. That's the foundation for agents. Measure agents like a colleague and version it like code. It's like a blend. So that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed the Tech Tuesday last week. Things are just going mad for me at the moment. So thanks for everyone for your support. The book's doing great. Please reach out and let me know. We're starting to put together season 2 for Metrics and Mayhem podcast. We're going to be doing guests. Can't wait for those of you who've already signed up to come on board. You know where I'm on the website. Just give us a tinkle, give us a bell on the old LinkedIn message. Let me know if you're interested, and I'll direct you accordingly. And just please like and subscribe. Please send to people who you think this is useful. And just everyone be safe. Much love. Until next week.